All right, let's get started.
Episode 9 MMAF podcast. Here, your host, Diuni Fox, and two in front of me, my co-host, Marco Martinez. How are you doing, sir?
Good, man. A lot going on in my life recently, So, I mean, you know most of pretty much everything in my life, but got out of college. What was that, like 2 months ago now?
It's been since May, June, July, like 3 months almost.
3 months ago.
Yeah, it's
I
insane.
remember.
Summer's already over.
I know.
Kind of. Kids are back at school, like down the street. I'm like.
Yeah, no, I peeped that. I was on.
But I'm still here, and it's so weird because I was so used to like doing school stuff at this time, and like I never really noticed the kids, and I was like, all these parents walking their little children to the elementary school down the road. I'm like, let me take a second just like observe this. I feel like I haven't seen this since I was in like high school because I haven't been around that.
Yeah,
but like things look normal, like back in like 2017 when like we used to be in school. Like people are out, they're going to school. I was like, why have I not noticed this? Maybe because I was on college campus. Like, I don't know. It was weird. I mean, you have an elementary school near you. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah,
stuff,
no.
but
I noticed too, dude. It feels weird since we've been out of school. Like, I mean, I guess it's just a new chapter of life,
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, crazy time right now. I'm living back at home, training. I've been studying the Bible and religious texts in general. And reading
You've been reading a lot.
But yeah, I read every day, so it's like it only takes like 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Dude, it's so good for you. Like I saw your text earlier. It's like reading out of school has done so much for my mental, just fortitude, just making me feel like at least some kind of intellectual, more than like even when I felt like I was in school. Because in school it's like type like ChatGPT. Like, okay, sorry, rip my degree, but yeah, ChatGPT like just doing these assignments, like blowing through them, just trying to, because I want to go do other stuff, obviously. But like when I actually take time to like read and like just like digest this like text, which like for me is the Bible as well right now, but. I don't know, it just feels good. It feels like I'm doing something good for my brain. It's like a workout for my brain.
I think there's such a difference between being forced to learn and wanting to learn.
Yeah.
Because like for me, even now, I still study psychology on my own. I watch psychology courses and stuff. Like I'm interested in learning. Like
I didn't know that. That's cool.
It was never. Yeah, I do that. Maybe it takes me an hour a day. Like these are things because I literally have nothing else to do right now. I'm like I gotta do something with my time. So,
so much XP.
I'll study something. Yeah, I'm just trying to get experience, trying to gain knowledge, and just grow as an individual while I have the opportunity.
Why not?
Because if I'm not doing anything and I'm still at home and like luckily the situation I have food and stuff, I might as well learn skills, man, and just do something I want to do with my time, because the other side of that is like just rotting into nothing. And like I think it's good to have downtime. I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't do that, because I've had times where I'm so efficient with my time where I'm like, oh, I have to do this assignment, that assignment, I need to go to clinical, I need to go to research, I need to go do this,
Yeah.
And I'm just doing stuff 24/7. And there's no downtime. And then you don't really find the things you love to do in life like that. You kind of need downtime to find what you really appreciate, I think. And a lot of people will never understand that. If you're moving at, like, I know people who are moving at Mach speed all the time, all their life.
You've literally been there.
I've been there. I've literally been there, And
I've seen it.
people around me, too, because I went through that environment.
Yeah.
And when you're moving too fast, you don't get to see, like, oh, step back. I really do appreciate the things I get to do, And that's what I loved about the last semester of school, dude. Because when my workload got lower for school and I wasn't, like, studying 24/7,
yeah,
I could finally step back and just be like, I'm really appreciative for jiu-jitsu. I'm really appreciative I get to train. I'm really appreciative I get to learn, Because, like, school almost just passed me by because I blinked and it was over because I was so obsessed with learning. I was so obsessed with getting my degree because I was going to be a neurosurgeon, whatever I was going to be,
Yeah, take the MCAT.
I had a different perspective on it all back then. But during that, all I was thinking, I guess it's the way I've been driven in life too, dude. All I ever thought about was what I'm going to get out of it all.
Yeah.
And you can get places far like that. You can overcome literally almost anything in life if you can just think, what's the end state thing I want? But it'll leave you a little hollow if you don't really enjoy the process too, Because everything...
100%.
All the willpower that ever took me through anything in my life, I've thought about this a lot recently, was just me thinking that I don't care what I have to do. This end state is so valuable that it's worth sacrificing everything in the road to get there. That's how I got through school. That's how I got my body at the beginning when there was like, social, you want to go party, you want to go drink. I didn't do any of that in high school because I was so obsessed with like, oh, but imagine how great it would be to have this dream physique you wanted your whole life and look like David Lade or whatever.
Yeah.
People were looking up to back then, like Machiavelli motivation guys on trend. You're never going to look like that.
But, yeah.
But we could imagine we were going to look like that. But you have those ideals, and it's like, it's great. it's great to have that picture because that picture will take you through a lot.
It will get you there, but when you look back at the process, look at what it did to you in the process of getting there.
Yeah.
Look at the people, the relationships you may have burned or you may have destroyed. You may have not even had a chance because you were so closed off and so focused on that one goal. Look at all the things around you, like on that path that you missed, but instead you sprinted all the way through the forest and you didn't even take 1 second to look at the bird or like just observe, you know, the things around you, and you get there and then you're like, damn.
No, and I do think there's a way you need to find a fine balance between those because you definitely can enjoy the process and do it.
Yeah.
I think you're going to need a phase in your life where you just lock in on some things. And I was talking to my friend about this, Evan.
Yeah.
He's going through some stuff in his life, but he, I told him, you know, like, it's tough to go from being someone who was, like, for me, it was tough to go from someone who was literally never successful in school, in high school, middle school, elementary school. I don't even remember doing good on any class ever. Like, I was never exceptional. Maybe math at some point when I was young. But later, I was never exceptional, and I was like, it was tough for me to go from that to getting a biochemistry degree. That's a pretty huge gap from, like, I failed high school chemistry, you know? That gap, in order for me to close it, I really had to get single-minded. And I had to just, like, believe that passing, for me at first it was passing organic chemistry, this is all I have to do, and then I'll get my nutrition degree. But then I passed it and I was like, wow, I could really pass that. But I sacrificed my entire summer, my relationship at the time, a lot of my life to get that, you know, to get past that one course that was just so hard.
Yeah.
And I think it was necessary for me to transform myself into a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I do think you need to be aware of the sacrifices you're going to make before you become single-minded.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose a lot.
But it's a skill and something you also should go through. I 100% agree with that. Like, you need to learn how to do it. It's like fighters, you know, they lock in for fight camp and they shut out everything. At least most of the good ones will do that. And then out of fight camp, they relax again. They enjoy the world. They go back to, you know, spending time with their families, their girlfriends, eating out, whatever, spend time with friends. Fight camp comes again, boom, you lock in.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them, I think early on, I've heard, like, it's really hard to do that. Because once they go into fight camp mode, it's almost like they want to stay in fight camp mode in the off season, and then it leads to injuries and overtraining. Like Kamza, for example, he had to learn how to de-escalate his training intensity because he was training. He wanted to train so much. Like the video's like 6th session of the day, and he's doing the jumper. He's like he was literally wanting to do so much, it ended up being detrimental because he would get to the fight and he would be so burnt out from training so hard that his performance was like decreased by like I don't know, maybe 20%, but. You know, that you got to learn to take a step back and slow it down in the off season and really take time off because time off leads to growth. Everybody knows that, but it takes a different level to actually do that and really take time off, which I'm victim of that. I'm sure you're a victim of that. We're addicts to this shit, and so it's pretty hard to do that, but at least trying, you know, is healthy.
Yeah, at least trying, and I think you can learn to do it. It's going to be another phase where you have to kind of go through it, and like, you know, I'm thinking, I just felt my Garmin reminded me that you need to do.
I wanted to ask about that. Yeah,
you know,
there's a lot of unhealthy relationships I see online. Like even our friend Chase, like he's like, this motherfucker, this shit's telling me to walk. Like what the fuck? Like get off my wrist.
I mean, I like it, and I think it's cool. Sometimes.
I think it's awesome. I want to get one.
But once if I've had a heavy day and it's like 12 p.m. and I'm like, man, I want to do some work, or I want to study, or I want to like chill out and like watch anime or like whatever I like to do, I'll take this thing off because it will keep saying, get up, be active,
really?
be active. Yeah, it's
Did you program it to be like highest intensity, or is it just does that?
No, it just does that because it's you can't. The way the Garmin works is it wants you to stay active throughout the day, which is good.
Yeah.
And I do that generally.
But does it not know how hard you're going in those one sessions or those like runs or something, or I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
It does.
I don't think it cares, bro. I like go on
it
like
just wants you to be this like
10-mile run, and then it'll be like, all right, time to move after.
It wants you to be some ultra
shit.
marathon person.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know if there's I've only had it for about like 2 weeks now. I don't know if there's an upper limit. You hit a place where it's like, okay, time to stop.
I think it's collecting data on you as well, right?
Oh, it does constantly. But my step count consistently increased. Like now it's 12K a day. It
Shit.
started at like 7K and now it's like 12K. But I'm like,
have you been looking at the sleep scores?
I don't wear it while I sleep. Well, because
that's one of the coolest things I want to know.
I don't like having all my jewelry on while I sleep. I take off my rings, I take off my bracelet.
Yeah, it probably would be hard for me.
So much stuff, man. I don't like having all this on when I'm sleeping.
The sleep score stuff is really interesting.
But once I get used to having it on during the day, I'm gonna start sleeping with it. But right now, it still feels a little weird.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it just, especially when I already have trouble sleeping sometimes just because I'm like,
yeah, you got.
I don't know what it is, but I just like, I have a weird relationship with sleep sometimes, dude. Because one problem when I go to sleep is I drink so much water throughout the day, and you're aware of this now. At least I drink a lot.
Dude,
more
yeah, I always have to piss.
I have to wake up in the middle of the night and piss.
Yeah.
Like I can't. There's one time I have to get up and piss, and I can't not do it. And And like,
Dude, yeah, I literally wake up so much piss needs to come
yeah,
out
and it's a
if
hard,
I don't do
it's
it.
a hard
like,
thing
one
not
diss.
to like tap your phone and check something when middle of the night, and then I'm like, fuck.
I just walk over, like,
Yeah.
and then go back.
I mean, I don't do it anymore, but that will just mess with my sleep up schedule up a little, and I'm like, fuck. Man. So I'm trying to just get decent at sleeping on my own at least.
Yeah.
But and waking up 5 a.m. It's not the worst thing, but like I've gotten used to it, man. I think most things you can program yourself to do in a certain way, and it's like it's all self-programming, I think, man. And this thing is just helping reprogram your mind. Like I
Yeah.
realized if I was an individual who's extremely undisciplined, a Garmin for me, it would help your life out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Because you're gonna be motivated. Someone taps you on the shoulder, some people need that tap on the shoulder, man. But I feel like
Yeah. Some people are fortunate to have the person that taps them in the beginning.
that's a
that
huge
helps
thing.
gets you through it.
That's what I've been helping my dad do.
Yeah.
But like, there's a sense of independence you need to build too, and this is what I've been trying to tell my dad. Because listen, I love lifting with my dad. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work out with him, but I think maybe working out with him twice a week would be better.
I think I can
Working
tell that
out
you've been
6
wanting to
times a
kind of
week.
do your own workouts a little
because
bit,
like,
which is fine.
yeah, he's old. He's I think there's a certain. It's good to. If you're older, it's good to be around young people, and you've noticed this trend. I'm not going to say I'm like
old people like
psychologist
yeah.
or whatever, but old people love being around young people because
Yeah.
it makes them feel young, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're young and you're only around old people, you're
It's
going to start
not.
to
It's-
feel.
it could be detrimental.
It could be detrimental. You need to be around young people too.
Balance, man.
And yeah, that's why like I think talking to your friends and all these things for mental health is so important. Like spending time with your friends.
100%.
I like going to the gym too on an individual level, just to like be in there and like relieve your stress.
I mean,
and,
it's so therapeutic.
It's so therapeutic. It's so therapeutic, and I think doing things, training alone, man, is like some of that in that alone time, and you get to think through thoughts and all this stuff. And going to the gym, making my training sessions a training session, like because I'm coming in to train for myself, but making it a session where I'm also training another person simultaneously makes the task a lot harder.
Yeah, I
Like
don't even
I'm
wanna
coming,
know, yeah.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough to like train someone else while you're training yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's even hard for me to work out with someone who doesn't really, they're not on that same wavelength. Like I have to be, I have to be training with people who like understand like intensity and like they just go hard and they don't really bother me and like talk too much or like they're a little slower. It's like, they do their set, I do my set, and we're just, because it's hard to train with someone who's like, I could take myself back and train with someone who's new if I want to train somebody, but it would be a little difficult because they're just not caught up.
I think the thing that made me overcome that was just training. Because, dude, I got so many people into fitness.
Yeah.
I got so many people
Yeah,
into
you've
fitness
always
young.
been that light.
I've always been that guy who just guides people into it. And I
Yeah.
think that made it easy for me to do it at times. But, like, that being said, all the people I got into fitness young, like, are friends and, like,
Yeah.
Random people, whatever. But they were all young, too. So there's, like, a certain energy, man.
Yeah, I like to do it when they're like young, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, with someone who's older, dude, like, a lot of the topics of conversation are stressful life shit. Like,
yeah, I can imagine how
when you
hard
get
it'd
older,
be.
dude, I realize a lot with my dad. When you get older, a lot of the things you're worried about are finances, cleaning up the house, my little brother's life, like
politics.
Politics. Yeah. Oh my God, there's so much drama people are worried about. I'm like, I guess it's hard for him to reprogram his mind to think like the gym is some place where I'm focused about what I'm doing in here, and I want to just let go of all the externals.
Do you think it's because they kind of lose that spark, like that youthful spirit they once had, so then they start focusing on like the worldly things that are like so easy to distract the older people? They're kind of meant for the older people to consume.
Yeah, and I was
like
talking.
politics.
I was talking to my mom about this the other day in the car. That like, politics are like, young people. We have like nicotine and stuff.
Yeah,
stimulants.
TikTok, Instagram Reels. Yeah.
There's all those different stimulants. Like people have caffeine. Like I tried NeuroGum. That stuff's good, by the way.
Oh really?
But yeah, it's actually really good. I like it. But,
Podcast sponsor.
Yeah, man, NeuroGum, hit us up. That stuff is beautiful. But anyway, it tastes good too. Like it's like a fresh.
I want to try
It's
it.
like a fresh. I'll bring some next time. It's like a fresh mint.
It has like 75 milligrams, I think, caffeine, right?
It's like 40.
It's like a Diet Coke.
Yeah, I'll pop like 3 of those, and then it's L-theanine in there, man. You got some good stuff.
Damn, no wonder Papa Joe Rogan likes that shit, man.
That stuff's good, but
Podcast Godfather.
yeah, I think he takes 6 before he meets with like a scientist.
Holy shit.
So he's like,
I wonder if he takes Adderall
yeah,
or Vyvanse or whatever.
I don't think he would.
He likes Lucy Breakers. I saw him
dude,
taking
but
this during a fight.
These aren't as intense as like Adderall
Yeah.
or anything.
100%.
I mean, the thing is, I was talking to my mom about Adderall too. Adderall should be something you use to reprogram yourself as an individual. Like if you're starting a new, it can be used like through. I'm honestly no doctor, so this could be controversial for me
But
to
you
talk
should
about
talk
this.
about Adderall because you had
Yeah,
your whole phase with it.
yeah, through my doctor and stuff. But I mean, then I said I'm not very educated on this, so I'm not. I'd
Yeah.
rather have someone on here who's like a doctor, and then we could talk about that. But
Yeah,
like,
but you should give your experience or whatever your
yeah. So I think it can be useful when you're starting something new.
yeah.
Like if you're programming a new habit into your life, and you start like taking Adderall to do something you've never done before. You know, it can create a good routine where you're like, man, okay, this is something I like.
But what about that dependency on
what
it?
Adderall does is just increase. You're gonna get dopamine from level.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can create an extreme dependency on it too. But I think if you I've seen a lot of different people take Adderall, and I've had my experiences with it. But
Yeah.
if you can take it and then not like still enjoy life without it in a way, like have things that you don't do on Adderall, because like for me I wouldn't work out, like I would never do that. I got it because I have ADHD, so I take it for class sometimes, you know, but I still love going to the gym. And then you get off Adderall and you can still go to the gym, you can still go hiking, you can still do the things you love. And then even for me now, learning something has been reprogrammed into me, so I can go and I can still learn. I love learning regardless if I'm an Adderall or any stimulant, you know, I just want to learn. So for me, it's literally just a reprogram kind of thing. And I think this is what a lot of drugs are meant to do, but people don't use them like that. You get addicted to just using it to like.
So
oh, I gotta take
my
it, I gotta
question is,
take it.
would you ever say that you were addicted to Adderall?
I would say, I don't think so, because I always had a back way in my mind where I would like, how do I put this? I would do things in my day without it. Like I'd start my morning without Adderall because I didn't want that to ever be like.
But you have to
wake
start
up
your
and
day
you do it.
early, right? Because you have to take Adderall
Yeah.
kind of earlier. If you take it too late, you can't
you don't,
sleep.
You don't take it till too late ever. I would always
Yeah.
take it at like
One
12.
time I
and
did that.
Not do it later. Yeah.
Bad
If you
mistake.
do it, yeah. Well, I know people who did it later to study and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
you know, I don't. Yeah, it could definitely ruin your life if you're like using it every day.
But I was gonna say
keep
is
it up.
you're a guy who I've seen you get addicted to things, but then you have the skill to fucking cold turkey that shit. I've never seen people be able to cold turkey
Yeah, I can
stuff
cold
like you
turkey.
can.
Yeah, man.
After an
That's the
addiction.
problem, because I know a lot of people still who can't ever get off Adderall and things like that.
That's
you
what
know,
I'm
like hard
saying.
stimulants, it's hard, but I don't know, man. It's weird. I've always had that relationship. I guess it's because of the gym, sort of, in a way, where I
Yeah.
could just like. I cold turkey caffeine for like months at a time. You
Yeah,
know,
I've
like,
seen you do that.
I've done all these
alcohol,
different alcohol,
caffeine.
Nick.
I've even seen you be able to quit, not quit, but take a break on jujitsu, which I
Yeah.
thought I'd never see that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna do it till the day
Yeah.
you die, just break your
Man,
back.
don't get me wrong. I love jiu-jitsu and I wish I could be doing it.
But look at
every
the
single
skill
day.
you gained to be able to not do it. Like I literally thought you were at least gonna do it once a week. Like I was like, no way, he can really
Yeah.
stop.
Well, I think I can, but the problem is, man, trust me, you don't know how bad I want to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sure.
I want to do jiu-jitsu. I want to teach it. I want to be an instructor. That's like something I'm so passionate about. And it was like, I have a dream, you know, one day of opening up a gym and an academy, and like one day I want to do all those and get a black belt and all these things, you know. But it's you're gonna have to realize that. I think a big thing is realizing that everything you do in life that you start to love, you're gonna have to embrace the suffering. There's suffering on the side of everything you're ever gonna have to give up, and you're gonna have to give up everything in this life. And I think people don't realize that you're gonna have to literally give up everything. Your loved ones are like a drug. The food you eat is like a drug. Like think about it. Everything you do in this life is essentially you're gonna create some sort of addiction, and it's a chemical addiction to a degree. Like
So true.
if you look at like the brain, the way is wired behind these things, you're gonna be chemically addicted to literally everything. Women, like the first girl you fall in love with, whatever. You know, I fell in love with so many girls, and that's you get addicted to it, man. It's like a drug because it fills a void in your life, man. Food does the same thing with people, and that's why I was like, because I had spent so much time recently thinking about like why do I have that personality where I can just cut things out? Like I've always been like this. For me, right now I'm fasted, dude. It's like 3 p.m. and I'm not even really thinking about food.
Yeah.
We're gonna go eat later. All you can eat. I'm gonna grub, you know. But I have a part of my personality that I guess is just I became willing to give up a lot of things, and I don't know if it was my upbringing and like knowing how fragile my little brother's life was and stuff, and just knowing how fragile my whole situation of life was, where like I had to give up a lot of things young to be in
That's the thing.
situation
I've
I'm in.
seen you be able to like lose these things, but you were always kind of like you got through it and you were okay with it. Like I've seen you be able to like. I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna say you're like cold, but you're able to kind of be like, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
They're gone, or that thing's gone, or whatever. And you kind of dealt with it in like a pretty solid way that I've seen, at least compared to a lot of people I know. But then
Yeah.
again, you're very abnormal.
Yeah, I'm
You're
not
you're a pretty outlier.
Dude, I analyze my own psychology all the time because I'm like, it's weird. It's weird how I've been able to make just do so many things and go so intensely into them
Yeah.
and then come out of them. You know, like drinking was one of those things too, dude. Where I just went so hard into it, but it came with finding a new value. You just need to reevaluate what has meaning in your life, and I think a lot of people can't find meaning. And you're gonna find meaning through a couple different ways. You know, like find meaning through love, find meaning through finding something beautiful that you think is just amazing. Yeah. Religion could be truth, whatever it is. Like for me, meaning in science was finding meaning in truth. Like I'm so interested. I just want to learn more so I can figure out things. Like if I can know more about the world, it'll help me grow. And that was meaningful to me when I was doing it. And you're going to find meaning through action. Sometimes you find meaning through just going out and like chasing something or like going out and training, you know, which we did too. But it was always just trying to find meaning in something. And I think a lot of people don't actually, this is going to sound crazy, but a lot of people don't actually value meaning. Like a lot of people don't even want to find meaning in life, bro. So they just kind of give up and they're like, that's when you get like that nihilistic perspective.
I see that, yeah.
Life sucks and like everything sucks.
Everything's
like,
relative.
You know, I've met people, man, who told me that like they don't feel good about anything and they don't feel joy about anything really in the world. And I'm like, you can function like that and get through it, but you're not going to embrace any highs of life. And I think the best highs of life come when there's a down payment in return and you have to do something that's going to make the high worthwhile, if that makes sense. You know, getting a college degree, that's like one of those things where you go and you grind yourself out for 4 years and you suffer a lot, but then you get a good degree and you can get a job with that and it gives value to people. And, you know, maybe that's big value to you, but for us it was also training. Like, we had to train to get a body that now we value because it took that much to get it, you know? And that's where a lot of the good value in life comes, like educating yourself, learning religion, because I think getting a relationship with God, getting a relationship with a higher power requires some sacrifice in advance.
Yeah.
You're going to have to learn about it, you know? You're going to have to suffer too.
I'm not a stock guy, but I love investing in things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I love investing in different avenues and seeing it pay off 5 years down the line.
That's part of growth as a human being. And like, I think a lot of people, man, if you look at people who have gotten into religion, a lot of them had to suffer a lot to get there.
Bro, yeah. And even when things are going so good, it's like, it's a beautiful suffering that it never ends, honestly, once you're in it.
And it's like, man, if you listen to, there's one video where you hear Greg Plitt talk to Jeremy Buendia and like Sadiq, and he's talking about the EKG of life and the heartbeat. And you know, when you look at EKG, it's like heartbeat, down, up, down, up, down. And he's like, man, every time you get a down, you're going to reevaluate what you value in life and find a new up that holds that value. And I think being able to let go of things and know that something is going to come again, it's huge to just growing your character and like the world, man. Like, you have to be able to let go of what your last passion was and be like, damn, that really sucks. Like, for me, it's been jiu-jitsu recently. Like, I literally can't do this. And I keep telling myself, when am I going to be able to do jiu-jitsu? When am I going to be able to do jiu-jitsu? My back injury isn't getting better. And I keep trying to set a timeline. Like, maybe I'll be back in a couple weeks, you know? But for me now, I'm thinking maybe I'll be back in winter. Maybe. I don't know. My back injury doesn't seem to be getting much better. And, like, I know if I go to the doctor, the same cycle is going to happen again where they're going to tell me, oh, we'll get another x-ray then. And then an x-ray is not going to show anything. Because I've had in-tune breathing with my back injury. It's an injury. It's a dull injury. When I breathe, my back hurts in a certain spot. And it doesn't hurt like there's something torn, because I'd feel that normally moving, you know? If it was like something torn or if there's something like broken, you know, all these things you'd feel normally. Yeah. I only feel mine at the peak of a breath. Right when all the oxygen comes in, my chest is expanded, my rib cage might be pushing against tissue, my rib cage might be pushing against my lungs, I don't know. But I'd need an ultrasound, essentially, is what I'm saying. I'd need live, like, you know when they get an ultrasound of a baby, you see the baby moving? I'd need live motion of me breathing so you can see what's hurting.
And it's really hard to get that, right?
It's really hard to get that, man. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get that. I have to go to, the problem is I have to go to my doctor, then my doctor's going to recommend me to another back doctor, because the last one didn't help me. What's it called?
Chiropractor?
No, not chiropractor. It's called I don't remember. But whatever. It's whatever the doctor that specializes with, like, back injuries. Yeah, it's a specialist, but last one just didn't help me at all, man. And they were so useless. I tried to call. They told me, oh, we scheduled an MRI for you. And I'm like, great. And then the MRI people come, oh, well, actually, that MRI doesn't exist they asked for. And I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't exist? I'm like, I'm not a doctor. Like, tell me what you want. And I'm like, what do you mean tell me what you want? I'm not your doctor. I don't know what the MRI name is. So then I tell them, like, oh, I want one of my thoracic spine, which is, like, this area around here. I want one of my lungs, you know, all these places. And they're like, oh, well, those don't exist. You need the exact name. So I call the place back. Bro, I'm doing a bunch of back and forth here, probably for like 3 hours. And I'm like, and they just can't direct it. And then once they finally get it, I get a call back the next week. Oh, actually, your insurance, you don't meet the requirements for it, that you need to go to 10 PT sessions. So then I go to the PT place, right? and I go to this physical therapy.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the American medical system. What pissed me off about it, how just like, I gave them like, I explained my whole situation. I still have to go through all this, but anyway, I went to the PT place, and it ended up being this like rich PT place in Bethesda. You know, it's only really old people, and the exercises they're having me
Yeah,
do,
you're doing.
they're
Yeah, you told
literally
me
having me
about
do
that.
like what's called like a BPC pipe or PP, I don't know, whatever the pipe.
BP, yeah.
Yeah. You have me do the rotations here and stuff, and I'm like, dude, you think I don't do these? Like, I've done this my whole life. Like, these are all
Yeah.
these exercises are things I've already been doing because I'm a 22-year-old. I'm educated enough to know that I can look up online what PT exercises I should do and go do them. So I'm trying these things, and it was like, I went there once and I was like, dude, I'm never going back to this PT place. I'm not going here 10 times to waste my time. Like, just so I can meet the requirements for this, I'm like, there has to be a way that this is either going to heal from rest, or I don't know, I'm going to have to do something else. But what is the other option? I'm going to have to get surgery at some point. I don't know if I'd be willing to do that either.
Yeah.
I might just have to live life like this because it doesn't inhibit me from being able to lift and do the things I want to do besides jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is really when it gets aggravated. And sometimes if I'm like living if I was doing construction, it would probably bother me.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna I don't plan to do construction.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm in a weird spot with that injury, bro. But I don't even know how we got into this conversation.
Ups and downs in life.
Yeah, ups and downs of life. But yeah, the back injury, man, it's like another phase where I had to learn to let go of jiu-jitsu, and I think it's made me grow a lot because everybody at that gym probably knew like I was kind of identifying myself with jiu-jitsu a lot. And man, it's funny how life will do this to you, but when you learn to identify yourself with one thing solely, life will tell you like, hey, you gotta let go of that thing and then go re-identify yourself with something new.
Yeah, I think it's because honestly, it's like you become so obsessed with something that I think it's like God kind of teaches you a lesson and takes it away from you because He's like, you're thinking about this more than you're even thinking about me, your loved ones, the person next to you. It's like you're so obsessed with this, therefore, I'm gonna take it away. I'm gonna see how you are, and then maybe I'll give it back to you once you build a relationship, the character again with me or yourself to be able to do that healthy again. I feel like that's how He maybe would think, but
Yeah.
what do I know?
Yeah,
about
what
God?
do we know, man? We're just men, but
all I was gonna say is like earlier on in this episode, you were talking about how like people who were like nonstop, like go mode, 24/7, whatever, and I was like, I mean, I get called a person like that sometimes by people around me, like you're always doing something, you're always moving. I don't think I'm moving nearly to the extent that some other people are. Like I think you're even like you've been, you said you were go mode, and it's like those people. I remember like I'll see those people, and they kind of irritated me always a little bit because it's like at least recently they were kind of irritating me because I'm like, dude, you don't take 1 second to just be by yourself and think. It feels like you're always talking, moving, doing something. It's like just take a step back. I feel like and like analyze your life and just have silence and just like do nothing for a second because like you're always moving and like you're not even giving yourself that time to be by yourself and just think and be like alone and just be in silence because that's so hard for people to do nowadays. It's like be quiet and literally just sit and do nothing.
No,
like
I
how
agree.
many people even do that now?
I mean, I think sitting. I think there's couple different ways to go into that internal zone of yourself. But man, for me, something I need to start doing more is going out and hiking. Because when
Yeah.
you go out and hike and you just like, I'm not gonna say leave your phone behind, but like don't touch it. Like I know how hard that sounds.
That's why my dad loves hiking.
That's why I preferred leaving my phone behind at times. Like I remember in college, I'd go on walks and I'd leave my phone behind.
I remember
and just
that,
walk
yeah.
And just think and just walk. So, just so peaceful, and you get reflection because school, I was moving Mach speed, and I'm learning philosophy and science at the same time. It's like, it's a lot on your brain, man. It's a lot on your brain to learn a lot of things, and you have to deal with relationships and life, and I'm tutoring, I'm doing research, man.
Yeah.
I had a lot of strain, so that alone time totally helped me, but I do think sometimes it's hard for me to do nothing because I feel like I'm wasting my life. You know?
I mean, it doesn't have to be like literally nothing, but like at least I felt like I can get that kind of silence and that peaceful feeling when I'm in prayer. Like praying is a huge one for me because obviously I'm not looking at my phone, my eyes are closed, and like spending 20 minutes in the morning praying, 25 minutes, and then maybe a couple like other prayers throughout the day, which maybe cumulative like 5 minutes total or 10 minutes. So I'm like 35 minutes, 30 minutes of like just quiet, my eyes closed, just talking to God in my head, like, and just praying. I think that gets me that feeling at least. And then also, I noticed, or what I've been trying to do is running. When I run, not checking my phone in the first half of the run, and like not playing any music. So just having that silence with my thoughts. And like, it's hard to do that honestly when I'm running because I like to have a podcast, I like to have music on, I like to have something on. But like, I'm like, all right, just boss up for this first half of the run and just be quiet. And it honestly feels good because I'll hit like a halfway point. I'm like, all right, we'll turn the music back on, and then I start turning up. I start having fun, but I'm still having fun even in the quietness because I'm like, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, dude. I
And
think
it's good.
that's been a problem. Another thing I wanted to address with training with my dad because like he's super. I'd say he's super ADHD. It might.
And that would annoy me, like someone who keeps talking during the
Dude,
workout.
he
I'm
never
not gonna lie.
stops talking, and I'm like, dude, can we like? Because it was an art for me to learn in school how to silence.
Yeah.
Like, for me to learn how to be quiet and to walk with no
It's an
music
art,
and do
man.
nothing and just be present was an art. And I think a huge thing that helped that was Wim Hof breathing for me. When I started doing breathing work on my own, when I started doing qigong, like these internal arts on my own, I was able to just be silent and do nothing and just be like, so much peace in this, and just it lets your mind slow
Zen.
down. You relieve the stress, but like he has a lot of stress in his life, my dad, because
Yeah.
you know it's construction. He's dealing with having to take care of my little brother, having to take care of us, and he's always thinking about something. So we just start talking, and I'm like, Dad, like during our walks, I'll say like, I'm gonna breathe. Don't say anything to me, and he still says something once in a while, and I'll just ignore it. But like, I'm like, I'm gonna do breathing work for maybe 20 minutes, and it's just me inhale. For 20 minutes. I don't make a fucking sound. I just breathe. And I can tell for him it's like retraining his mind a little bit to be quiet. Because you need to learn to be quiet sometimes. And just
That's really
focus.
good for him.
Yeah, it's so good for him, and it's so good for the environment and just for yourself, man, because there's so much stimulus going on all the time. You gotta chill out.
We live in a world of stimulus.
You
It's just
gotta
built
chill
in
out.
everywhere, man.
And like that chill out time is when creativity comes to, man. Creative
yeah,
ideas.
you get some of your best ideas, man.
Yeah, when you're alone. I mean, sometimes you forget them too. Like, because I remember
Yeah.
a big thing for me was I'd go on. You remember probably during school there was a time when I'd run with no headphones, and I'd get
Yeah.
some amazing ideas, dude. Because I'd go on like I wouldn't even bring my phone. I wouldn't track the run.
Yeah,
I'd
you
just
just
run.
run.
And I remember I'd run for like I'd probably run like 12 miles sometimes. No music, nothing, and I get so in the world. I'd be like, I'd have so many different ideas come up, and then I'd forget them all.
And that's really incredible. Like being able to run, like not even a goal at hand. You're just literally moving. Like that's pretty pure, like silence and literally just nothingness. Like that's pretty close to it.
Yeah, and I think that helped. But also the big thing is I'd run out, and I'd run out in one direction. So
Yeah.
once I'm 6 miles out, I'm like, man, I wish I had my phone on me, but now I have nothing on me. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I literally have nothing. I have to run back, so let's continue running because if I walk, it's gonna be 4 more hours to get home instead of
Yeah.
1. So it kind of created a motivation to return.
Yeah, that
But,
return. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't run out too far because I'm like, I'm gonna get murdered too. Like, I have
Yeah.
nothing on me, dude. And my
Yeah, I
legs are tired.
like running and doing that with my runs. I like to do my favorite kind of routes for my runs are always the ones that are out somewhere and then straight back. I don't know, I like that because then it's like I get to that point I'm like it's like I know in my head it's like you just have to go back. You've already done the point. You're already over the worst part getting there. Now you have the fun part of getting back to that place and you can rest and your run's over.
Yeah.
And it gives me that motivation like okay, now I can come back.
Yeah, man. I think for me, big thing on the runs too is like, man.
Like I don't like the track. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like circle. I feel like
I
I feel like a
can't,
rabbit.
I can't do that, dude.
Or whatever,
When I'm getting my
game
daily
day.
steps in, sometimes I'll do walks so I can read while I'm doing it. 'Cause I'll
Yeah.
read on my phone or I'll like bring my. Right now I'm reading the Quran, so like today I brought my Quran and I'll find like a peaceful place where I can walk in loops around like townhouses or something.
That's cool, yeah.
So that's chill, but yeah, dude, running in loops is like that'll drive you mad because the thing is every time you get urges when you're running the same place to be like, oh, maybe I should return now.
Yeah, just
You ever
stop.
feel that? Like,
No,
I'll
yeah.
run a loop around something, and I'm like, if I'm running loops around the same place, I'll be like, well, maybe I should just stop early now. But if you run out, man, you're like, I got nothing to do but run back.
Yeah.
I gotta return to headquarters. Like, I gotta make my way
It took
back
a lot
there.
more discipline because I used to run this 1 mile loop around this neighborhood. You know the loop, like
Yeah.
we've done it. But I used to do that for like 5 or 6 miles, and that shit sucked, man. Because like I
Yeah.
kept passing my house, I'm like, bro, I was like, I want to go back inside, man.
yeah.
But then it was like, all right, keep doing the loop, 2 more loops, 1 more loop, and it's like. I never do that loop anymore. Like I'm way past that. I just go for these big routes that I have like that I've done so many times, and I like those a lot more because man, that loop sucks.
Yeah, that loop's so...
I honestly feel slower. I don't know why, but it's something about doing that loop. I feel like I'm running slower.
Dude,
my pace is worse. I don't know. It's
It
just,
just
I don't
made
like
me
it.
think, like, a lot of people don't just do that loop in their entire lives. Like, they loop... Like, I mean this in, like, a theoretical sense, but
Yeah.
you'll run... You'll do things that are close to where your safety net is in life.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to run far out and take a risk. Like, most people want to run, and, like, dude, I have urges when I'm running sometimes. I'm running far out, and then I'm like, well, maybe I should start to loop around here. So
Yeah, that
I'm
loop
near the
around,
house.
yeah.
You like you rationalize going back to like be close to where your comfort
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
It's such a weird thing that humans do naturally, but I've noticed this in myself, and I'm like, damn, a lot of people do this in life, man. They like, you want to train. You don't want to get far away when you're training, man. You don't want to go somewhere that's scary far away. You want to stay.
It's uncomfortable
around it.
unknown, man.
It's the unknown. People are just fear for the unknown, and we all have that naturally.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what could go wrong out there, man. So it's something scary about all that. But
Yeah, man, that's why I'm excited to. I'm going to Tennessee tomorrow with my dad, and we talked about doing a few runs up there. It's gonna be fun because I probably won't even have headphones for this, because we'll just talk and do it show pace. But like that's gonna be fun because it will be that unknown of running wherever we go run. But at least it's gonna be a new scenery, a new loop, and like we'll have to explore. All right, Dad, do we turn back now, or do we do that loop? Because we're not gonna know where we're running. We don't run there,
No,
but it'll be fun.
No, that's gonna.
That's why races are insane and so much dopamine and excitement. Like when I ran my marathon, I've never ran anywhere in that whole area. So like to do a race, 26 miles there, and like it's all unknown. There's so many other factors that make it so exciting and fun, but like it was just that unknown route that I'm following people because the race ends somewhere. It's like it was so cool because like every single place I was running by, I had never seen before. On top of that, there's about, I don't even know, like 10,000 people cheering you on, military veterans with their rifles just standing, saluting you, cheering you on. Like there's just everything's there, man. It's so much dopamine and excitement because like you're in a race and it's all new. Everything is new, especially your first marathon. It's all new, and dude, you come back like after that, like it's like the most beautiful journey like ever. Because I was like, holy shit, like
Yeah, man.
it's all, everything you just did was something you had never done before. And when you do something you've never done before and you finish that, it's like after that you're so like high off that dopamine. You're like, wow.
Dude, I think that's one of the beauties of running, that you can literally let slip away from you so fast when you start rerunning the same routes. Because
Yeah.
so one of the beauties is like traveling distance and seeing new things, man. And that's what makes everything exciting. You know, that's what I love about jiu-jitsu, man. Every time I'd come into jiu-jitsu, I'm always there's always some new perspective. You're always like, you will never have the same day in a jiu-jitsu place ever. Like
Yeah,
it'll never be
man.
the same movements, the same like, but in the gym it will. Like you'll go from the same machine to the next machine, and you'll do that. I've done that so many times. Even now, it's hard for me to do something out of the loop. You know, like just switch it up. It's really
Well, there's
hard.
fun because you're progressing. You know,
It is
you see
fun.
yourself getting stronger, but then the new stuff
but
too.
that's the fun part about jiu-jitsu. Every day is like,
And it could be a different instructor, different partner.
you're
You
gonna roll
know,
with someone new, dude. There's no experience you'll ever have on the mat that's gonna be the identical.
you're not
to
gonna
previous
ever have
one.
the same role identical.
No.
It's impossible.
You'll never roll exactly with the same people. You'll never
It's impossible. Yeah.
do the same technique twice.
It's so fun.
They always say that you never do the same technique twice in jiu-jitsu. There's always variability to your movement, and that's like part of the what's the approach that Greg Souters uses called?
Ecological.
Yeah, that's part of the ecological approach. You'll never do the same movement twice. That's why they focus on
Makes sense.
doing the task. So you're doing the task and you figure out different ways to solve the problem.
Yeah, the game.
But yeah, man, I think in terms of running too, like another thing is like when I would run, even recently for me, it's like there'll be days, dude, where I feel like, yeah, my joints are really great and I can like rip off a good pace off from the start. But dude, some days like it might be my leg muscle mass and all these different factors.
No,
but
yeah, it feels like you're running
my
on pins and
Achilles,
needles.
yeah, it feels like my Achilles is gonna explode. My calves are so tight, and I'm like, I'm gonna destroy myself if I try to like start off with like an under 9 pace. So recently, my runs have been like maybe 9:30.
That's why Zone 2 is so good, because like I've talked to you about that, the skill of running on dead legs. Because that's, I mean, dude, obviously these runners didn't just always feel good when they were running, or they run now. You know, it's like they have to do those runs that hurt, but then they bring down the pace, and you know that's what builds that skill of being able to go for these insane distances at this great pace, great heart rate, because they did those runs that sucked and they slowed themselves down, and they got better.
Dude, I think this is a huge thing in all aspects of life, like the gym too, because like you're gonna have days where you don't feel as strong.
Yeah.
And you just need to accept that, like coming in and like for me, example, like today squatting, I wasn't strong. You know, maybe I probably gotten a little later.
Or even on a cut.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of on a cut. You know, whatever's happening, I'm just
Yeah.
doing one meal a day. But, like you will have lists where you're like, I should just not squat.
Yeah.
Like today, I literally thought to myself, I should literally just not squat today, because if I squat, like I'm gonna be weaker. But then I was like, that's the point, Marco. You gotta have these days where you're just getting the movement down, and that, you know, over time that makes your squat form perfect. That makes your squat technique amazing, because you have these light days where you're just focusing on the technique, and you know you can't go heavy because your body's literally dying. But at least
Yeah.
you're doing something. You're exerting yourself, you know. And for me, running recently, I guess my last 3 or 4 runs haven't been hot. Like I just can't. I can't. I'll have 1 mile maybe where I'm like under 9, and I'm like, man, I can't stay this low. All my tendons and stuff, maybe they're overtaxed or whatever. But you're gonna have weeks. You're gonna have times where you need to take a step back, and you're in here for the. What are you in here for? You're in here to lift all the weight. You're in here to get stronger every single lift. No, man, you're in here for a long-term journey. So.
Dude, that's a skill, man. Being able to pull back, because even on a bulk, maybe you feel really strong that day. You push too much weight, you blow your back out. You
Yep.
tear your shoulder.
Yep.
Even on a run, you feel so good, so strong. You fucking start off at a 7-minute pace. By mile 3, you're like completely gassed out and you ruined your whole run. That's why I always try to start slow. Then we see if we can get fast and the pace picks
exactly.
up.
But you should be okay with, dude. You need. I think it's an art to learn to be okay with not making continual progress.
Yeah.
And cause recently I felt that I was just up, like in the gym, because I did jiu-jitsu for a while, so I came back to really just focusing on lifting, and all my movements are kind of just up, 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 up. If not, it's maintained.
Yeah.
But today was the first day I've had a day where it was like down, and I was like, oh, okay, well I'm weak today. That's fine. Sometimes but I've realized I usually try to compensate that with more volume.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can't do, like today, usually I'll just do squats, deads, leg extensions, leg curls, calves. Boom. That's like simple. But today I was like, it's a weird tendency I have in mind, but if I can't do as much weight, and I noticed this through school too, I was thinking back on it, I compensate with more volume. I do different exercises. Like today I did kettlebell swings, like I'll do something to add to it, but yeah, it was overall the volume I pushed today was probably way weaker than any of my other weeks, and that's fine, man. At least you're coming in and doing something, because these are the days that make people discouraged and make them give up. If you get discouraged on yourself like that, you'll be like, it's just not worth it. I'm like, I'm weak. You start to really think these thoughts about yourself, and it's so easy to let those thoughts overtake you and just hinder your journey almost. And that's when people give up on running. That's when people give up on all these things, because they create, what's the word? They create a expectation for themselves. They create this high expectation where it's like, I have to be this great. I have to be this. I have to do that. If I'm not doing that, there's no point in me even doing it if I can't be that great,
Yeah.
But you're gonna have bad days, man. That's what I love about jiu-jitsu too. You go and you get strangled. You think you're all hot for 2-3 weeks. You're surviving. You're not getting strangled. Out of nowhere, you get strangled 10 times in one roll.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm nobody again.
I mean, yeah, because you're trying to set the standard of how you want to be every single time when you come to the gym, but it's also okay to fall below the standard. I mean, that sounds bad, but it's okay, like to fall below that standard, and maybe you don't perform that well. Yeah, but it brings you back to the next time you come.
Then you think about the standard you've already. It's the beauty of it all.
Yeah.
That standard is already so much more than the normality.
Or when you started,
when you started, even people who are years in, my bad day of squatting, I'm doing what today? Like, I think my back offsets were like 305.
Yeah, that's fucked.
305 for 8 on squats.
Yeah, it's like, strong as shit.
Yeah, strong. But for me, that feels weak.
Yeah.
Because I have these standards where I can do 345 for 8.
But then there's a guy who can't even do 145.
Yeah. So
135.
It's really about coming in and getting it and just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Just enjoying it and just never expecting anything.
I think, a lot of people need to hear that, man. Like, just go in, man. Because I know a lot of people that are struggling, in fitness journeys that are new to it or not as seasoned veterans, that they probably get discouraged because maybe they're cutting and they feel weak that day, or they're cutting and it affects them, like jiu-jitsu maybe or something, But it's okay to feel like that, because the growth in a year, you're going to look back like, damn, look where I am now.
It's a long-term journey, man. That's the beauty of natural bodybuilding, man. That's why I love that I've stayed natural. I had times where I wanted to get on steroids and stuff, and for me, it was never really going to happen because of the financial aspect. I always think about things logistically. I'm a very logistical person. I won't jump into something if I don't think the situation, all of it, seems pretty balanced. If I won't jump into it fully. And for me, steroids was like, okay, well, I'm not going to get on them unless I have the finances to get my blood work done, and I have the discipline to go to the doctor, get my blood work done monthly, keep that in check constantly. Yeah. And right now, I don't have that, and I don't have the finances at all. Maybe I'd get on TRT when I'm older. I've been listening to a lot of different people have perspectives on that, but maybe when I'm older, if I need it. Yeah. But I feel like through the way I've been living my life, the way we've been living our lives, like, I don't know if we'll ever need it. Because we have such a healthy lifestyle as young men, dude. If we can keep this up and keep training.
Dude, I'm even starting to think like that too, man, because I was always like, when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to hop on.
Yeah.
But at this age, like, we'll be hopped on by then, because we were 17. By the time we're 22, yeah, we'll be on shit. We'll be huge. But then, like, I'm 22 now, and it's like, oh, TRT, in maybe 20 years. But now I'm even at the point where, like, I don't even know if I even want to even get on TRT, because, like, I could just, there's so many things that it could affect, that could be bad in a way, but it's also just, like, I don't even know if I want that dependence on something, man. Like, I want to see if I could just push this rate natural. And, if things decrease, learning to accept the decrease, man.
Yeah, learning to accept the decrease, and I think you grow through that. But it's a problem.
I'm still gonna try hard, but you know.
It's a problem. It's a problem of humanity too, where you just don't ever want to go back down, dude.
Yeah.
You don't want to go down the EKG of life. You want to stay on those highs, and you want to ride these highs forever. And people aren't willing to stop them. And you know that's what I think made it for me, where it wasn't hard for me to get off of Adderall or get off of fucking caffeine or get off of like whatever drug it was, you know. Because I was okay with suffering down that. I knew that EKG was coming, man. I know that drop is coming. Those drops will come, man. You cannot prevent them.
Even relationships, man. You make me think about
dude,
that.
Everything. You know they will come. But for me, it was always like, oh, I've already had an EKG of life happen a couple times. So this one's coming. If I accept it.
So what happens when you try to
bang.
like really fight that EKG? You know, what do you think? It's like when you try to fight, no, I can't go down. What do you think happens?
You get anxiety from it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, why am I fighting the inevitable? You literally will think about it. Like for me with relationships, you will think about that relationship
because you want it to be perfect.
You want it to work, and you'll keep fighting it.
And I think that's how it gets destroyed.
The anxiety builds. The tension builds, and then that relationship goes up in a flame. Instead, you could have ended it peacefully. You could have ended the relationship.
Or you could have gone down and just worked together to grow it back up.
Yes, you could have gone down and rekindled this whole thing, you know. But a lot of people will keep waiting, and they're like, because how did my mom put it? She said, you turn face. You turn face to all the issues because you're like, well, I know this isn't working, but it's okay. It'll find its place later.
Yeah.
So you keep turning face to all these issues, and the issues grow and grow and grow and grow until it's a mess, and then it blows up, man. And everything goes wrong because you compounded all these issues, you know?
Dude, your dad said that in that bridge video. He was like, I kept thinking I was going to wake up every day and I was just going to keep doing this, like the same thing, and life was just going to keep continuing. But then he said, like, I realized that I had to make a change. Remember that bridge video?
Yeah, I know that bridge
video. That was
video.
so beautiful
We were walking,
when he said
man,
that.
He told me, so...
That was awesome. I remember that.
Man, the way it happened was my dad... I'm trying to remember this all. My dad went to a funeral for one of his friends.
Nico, I think.
No, well, Nico died when my dad was younger.
Oh, yeah,
The way Nico
guy.
died was... he got in a car accident. He was he was in love with my dad's sister. And, like, he'd been dating a different girl, and he was really in love with her, and... I think he was driving one day, like, a little crazy because he was trying to go to my dad's wedding and see her, like my dad's sister.
Holy shit.
And he got in a car accident. And then she rushed there, saw him, and he kind of repaired himself after that, but he stayed with this other girl. And then, I mean, it was crazy. There's a lot of other things that I'm probably going to skip over all that anyway. But he ended up dying from a blood clot that he got in his brain because of that. Yeah, because of that rush to get there, you know, and... Nico died, and my dad said Nico's always one of those people who looked at life like every day's you got a new day.
Yeah.
You got a new day. You're always living by tomorrow. You're living by tomorrow. And then another thing that happened to my dad when Nico died, it was big for him, and that's what also. Yeah, man, that was a huge thing for my dad. He always brings up Nico, but anyway, another thing that happened to my dad was one of his friends won the lottery. Like it was like he won like millions of dollars, and he sent my dad. I think my dad had always been helping out, so he sent him some money. Like some nothing crazy, but like some good money just to take care of himself and like help him out. And that guy ended up dying. And I think with my dad, that was one of the first funerals he'd been to in a while, and he said like, I kept living like there was always just tomorrow, and I needed to stop and think like, reflect and think what's the best decision I can make from here because everything's not gonna just. I guess my dad thought like. He was healthy when he's younger, you know. It's gonna come back. It's like the youthful vigor is gonna come back. You're gonna get it magically. It's not gonna come back magically. You have to get in the training routine. You have to apply these things.
You have to optimize your health.
Life catches up to you. Life catches up to you, man. You can't drink forever thinking you're gonna get away with drinking forever. These things catch up to you, and something might go wrong, man. Every day you drink. I think about it like this, man. Every single day you go out to the bar and drink, you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk, and you're compounding risk. You think you're gonna get away with all this, dude? Like. Every day, because I have friends, man, who've gone to the bar and they go, and every night is like, they might get in a fight. They might like do cocaine. They might like, you know, stay up for 2 days straight.
Dude,
like
school just started, college just started. I think it's about to start, and that's going to be people's routine for a whole year almost, you know?
And then they don't just stop that routine, though, because they're still compensating. So, you know, you get your job where you're sucking it up, and it sucks, but then on the weekends you go even harder. So these people are still going hard, and they don't think these years of just... being an idiot are going to catch up to them.
I know if Chuck was here, he would say something about this.
Chuck would probably be like, yeah, man, that stuff catches up to you, and this is why you have to... He's fighting. He's fighting and reflecting. And, you know, even after that episode with Chuck, I've heard... You know, man, I heard some things. Chuck is fighting some battles, you know? And it's all just that party hard is still in him, and I think that party hard is still in a lot of people.
A lot of people, man, and those guys that are in fraternities, like I think they say like, oh, they never leave that mindset of that college mindset. And those are the guys that end up like dying. Like your
Yeah.
dads would say, I had this good friend in college. He's he's
Yeah.
not here anymore, but he was the party, man. That guy was the party, like.
And that
But then they end up dying.
And like I had one of my friends reach out to me the other day saying like, man, I'm working a 9 to 5 now, and like I'm not working a 9 to 5, so I can't even. But I've had times where I was doing similar things, so I can't. I can still relate on a little level, but he's like, man, I'm really like kind of really sucks now because like they instead of that time that they took to just party and go out with their friends, and it wasn't a thing that was maintainable. You fill your life with habits, right, and things that are gonna make you happy, but you need things that are maintainable too, man, because that college thing, once you've emptied that gap and now you have to work a 9 to 5 and there's no, oh, I can't go to the frat house and drink with the guys anymore. I can't do what I'm supposed to do. So what am I supposed to do now? And people don't have habits they've built that they love. Like,
Yeah.
we have running, man. We have jujitsu. I wish I could do
Lifting.
jujitsu. We have lifting. We have, for me, breathing,
Shit,
meditating.
man, walking. I don't know.
Reading.
Yeah,
I don't know,
read
just
it.
getting outside, spending time with your family, but a lot of people didn't develop those.
Yeah.
So they just have empty holes in their life where life
Dude,
sucks.
yeah, man. That's why if you're always filling your college life with these things that you can't do
You can't
forever,
do it.
man. But that's why I'm so happy I filled my college career with like at least the junior and senior year of like running and lifting
Yeah.
and like religion and jujitsu
Yes,
is because
yeah.
I can do those things. For example, I start my full-time job next week. I'm definitely nervous to see how I'm going to be able to keep up with my hobbies that I love, my passions, but I pray to God every day just to be able to give me the strength and be able to allow me, if it's in His will, to continue those passions and keep getting better and keep pursuing them with whatever may happen in life. But I'm nervous, but I know I'll just build a new routine and I'll find a way. Maybe things I won't be running as much, or I won't be doing jiu-jitsu as much, or maybe something will take a little hit, but I know it will come back. And I know as long as I'm doing them, I'll still be getting better.
And you'll still have things you love that are healthy habits, which you can do for the rest of your life, bro. And that is
Yeah.
the biggest thing, man. People don't find healthy habits that they can do continuously.
Yeah, dude, that's a big tip, man. Finding those things early on while you have the time, because then you can do them later on.
Yeah, find them while you're young, and then you develop them. You
Yeah.
develop the habits, man, because you can't throw a habit in and think it's gonna magically work.
Don't just spend all your free time doing these habits and these things that you can't do forever and that are gonna hurt you if you try to do them forever, and you're gonna end up like one of your dad's friends that's dead.
Yeah, man. You're overcompensating for a hole that you are not gonna be able to keep filled. You're filling the hole with dirt. And the hole needs to be
Yeah.
filled with, I don't know, man. Maybe it's a foundation of house.
You gotta build your foundation on concrete, not sand. That's a
Yep.
Bible verse, man.
You need, yeah, man. It's you listen to all those chapters in the Bible that are just about building, and you think like, why is there so much detail in building? Because there has to be detail in building something.
Yeah, man. You build your foundation on Christ. That's brick. That's solid steel. But you build your foundation on the world. That's sand that will crumble.
But yeah, and things have to be thought through, man.
Yeah.
People don't think these things through a lot, and I think like, for example, like man, I'm gonna just say an average college experience for a guy. You are going to school on a schedule that won't maintain because you're not going to go to class from 9 to 5 every day. You're going to get a job which is going to fill that void, okay, right? Most of the time. That's why they get the job. So it
Yeah.
fills the void of 9 to 5 class. But then you're spending time with a girl, which, oh, well, it's a college relationship, so it probably won't last after college unless you guys both move into the same area, maybe once in a while. But for example, my friend who's been asking me for recommendations, he was talking to a girl where that relationship only existed in school. So when school ended, that relationship disappeared. On top of all his hobbies disappearing because his hobbies were hanging out with his guys and doing things with his college guys. And now all those people are gone. So he's like, man, I literally have nothing besides my job. Nothing besides my job.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that filled that void. But because they never developed the passions, the habits of passion, man. The habits of things I would do no matter what happens in my life, man. I want to go to the gym, man. There's some urge that's pulling me to go. Just get this out, man, and go lift, have fun.
Yeah, man, don't give up. It's not over, you know?
not over.
You can
It's not
still
over.
find these passions and build these new routines in your new life, you know? It's
Yeah.
never over.
It's never over. But you need to be willing to, and I told him, you need to be willing to accept that suffering.
Yeah.
Because that suffering is inevitable, and it's part of the new growth phase. You're going to have a down, but then once those habits start to come into place and you are like, okay, well, I'm kind of starting to like my job, and I like going to work, and then, I also like this thing I'm doing after I'm going to the gym, and then, I get to see my family and eat dinner with my family. That's pretty amazing. So then you start to enjoy most of your day, and all of a sudden your life's back on top. But at the beginning, I don't like eating dinner with my family. But then you start to see the good stuff in that,
yeah.
You got to look for the good in these things. And I think it's easy to get a nihilistic perspective of saying like everything sucks and my life is just terrible right now. And then you just focus on the negative, 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 and everything just starts to suck, and you're dragging yourself through a terrible thing. And then maybe you get addicted to caffeine, you get addicted to nicotine, you get addicted to fucking Adderall. I don't know, whatever it is. You get addicted to all these things to compensate for the true enjoyment of activities, which you can find in them if you're willing to take a different perspective. And that's tough. That's tough, man.
100%, man.
It's a self growth and reflection journey, and I just don't think a lot of people want to reflect. Because they don't want to have to be like, oh, this is really it. This is really it, and I'm going to have to learn to accept it. But yeah, sometimes you're going to have those down phases where you got to learn to accept the down.
Yeah, they just think it's going to keep being this next thing.
They think it's going to keep being highs, man. They think they're going to keep peaking.
The EKG, man. I like that.
You have to go down on the EKG of life, man.
Shout out Plip, man.
Yeah.
The EKG,
Dude,
man.
he was a genius. You listen to some of his stuff, like...
I don't even know how that guy thought of so many of those things he said.
It's because he'd been through it, dude. You think about it.
He reflected, man.
Yeah, and he went to Ranger School. You're out there 70 days and...
Time alone. Talk about time alone,
man. You're taking a shit. You don't even have a toilet.
Yeah.
You can't even take a shit in the toilet, bro.
Fucking marching through the forest, man. Wet boots, hungry.
You start to learn those bottoms are like really what make the highs worth it. So you got to accept the bottoms because that's what makes the highs awesome, man.
Yeah.
And if you can't accept the bottoms and you're just living on a high that is causing you anxiety because it's not a real high that you can maintain.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing for them. What time is it?
It is... We're at 56 minutes.
Yeah,
350. Oh, I was going to say, so you were talking about lifting and then the effect that steroids have on the lifters that take it because they reach this new high level, but then, things start coming down. You were saying something about that, right?
Yeah. No,
but I was going to say, how about jiu-jitsu with guys who take steroids and then they have then unnatty jiu-jitsu to get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're driving yourself on... Yeah, that's the problem in that. You're driving yourself on hormones and an unnatural production of things. Yeah. So then once you try to stop that, that's when people have their athletic phase and then they give up.
Yeah.
That's my when you talk about like, oh, that's when I was a high school football player. I was athletic back then, because you were juiced up, you were like whatever, you were a juiced up wrestler, you were juiced up whatever, but because you were riding an unmaintainable high. And that's what a lot of people try to do. They try to ride an unmaintainable high, and you see people, it's trendy now. Get addicted to caffeine, you're taking like 900 milligrams of caffeine before your workout.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're going to maintain that? And I remember something I'd always tell myself when I was younger lifting. During like COVID, all these times I'd always say, my friends were like, bro, you taking any caffeine before your workouts? I'm like, no. Because I don't need it now. But there will be a time in my life where I need to take caffeine. And that's when I'll start taking it. And for me, that was when I started doing clinical research, like different jobs, different work aspects. I'm doing nutrition internship, whatever it is. But I prepared in advance because I knew that like, you just keep compounding. Because I remember we had one friend who'd take like a gram of caffeine, bro. And I'd be like, dude, we're like doing nothing during COVID. You don't need to take any caffeine. Just come in here, have a good time.
Yeah,
actually.
Dude, I used to do that. I always think about this like sometimes because I'm like, damn, I did a coffee and pre today, but I'm like, all right, pre's 200, a coffee's like 80. It's 280 for the day. That's chill. But I was like, damn, I really used to do like 300 milligrams just to work out, and literally like I would just work out that day and then go work at the front desk at a gym. Mm-hmm. I'm like, bro, I was consuming that much caffeine just to do like the most easiest task that I want to do. I'm like, damn, that was fucking me up. Yeah. And I remember looking back then, I had a lot more anger. I was irritable, and I was just kind of like, I remember I literally was taking so much caffeine that it started to not even affect me. So I was like, I need to do more. Like, fuck, what's wrong? And like, our friend, funny enough, it was actually Zeniel. He was like, why don't you just take less? And I was like, take less? Why would I do that? But then I was like, I actually did take less, and then I was like, it felt better.
Because you're recalibrating the EKG.
Yeah.
Getting back down to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, man.
You got to go back down to the bottom of the barrel sometimes, man. That's resetting yourself on anything. You have to accept these bottoms, man. That's what I'm trying to tell with these things because, like, even when you're riding tests, dude, if you're riding tests, I'm not going to say I've done it, so I don't really know, but I'm assuming if you were riding tests, you just feel like a beast all the time. You just feel like I'm kicking ass every day.
But then I see these guys that are on tests, and they say, yes, the cycle of 150 starts to become like, eh. And they're like, all right, we're going to do 250.
Yeah.
And then, all right, maybe we're going to throw in a little bit of enclomiphene, a little bit of fucking Anadrol or some shit. I don't know. And then they're like, all right, we're going to play with that. Then we're going to play with this. And then next month, they're having fucking heart palpitations in the hospital.
Because you keep wanting more. It's a natural need. So sometimes you gotta return to the bottom, man, and make yourself suffer a little. That's why caffeine breaks are important. That's why stimulant breaks are important. That's why breaks from your hobbies are important. That's why rest days are important. Like, you get addicted to everything in life, man. You get addicted to training.
Yeah, man. I think that even that's why a lot of these, like, older bodybuilders that are, like, 30 years old that have been in the game a while, and they're unnatty, but they probably trained natty for, like, 10 years, like Chris Bump said. Then they hopped on, and then they slowly built their receptors up because, obviously, they had to start taking more and more, but they peaked at their most was like when they were maybe like 27 to 30, and then they hopped off and they retire and they go back to TRT because they're done with the sport. But I see a lot of these guys get mad because I understand why they get mad at these teenagers on TikTok that are like already on test at 17 or 16. It's like, dude, you're fucking yourself up so bad in the long run because you're gonna have to take more at some point, or you're just gonna hop off and crash your test and do all this fucking shit to get healthy again. It's like, no wonder they get upset. And like, I used to be that kid who's like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna fucking hop on when I'm like 20, yeah, man. But it's like, no wonder they get mad. I understand that because they're literally watching these kids destroy themselves in the long run.
Dude, and that's the problem with getting extreme highs in life in general. Like, if you think about like all these bodybuilders, dude, they accepted that they're gonna be they're peaking at an EKG.
Yeah.
They're peaking at the top of life right now when they're 25 in their prime.
And are you willing to take more? Because you know that's going to affect you, or are you going to come down?
Dude, you're going to have to come down
eventually,
or you're going to die like 40. You know, whatever. It's your choice.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, everybody, you look at Chris Bumstead, when he stopped competing, his physique went down a little bit.
Because he's like the perfect example of like the white knight who did it perfectly.
Yeah, and he was okay with like, you know, accepting those downs. Those downs get filled with different things of life. Now you start pursuing other avenues of life, but you can't just... If you're going to go all in with something, you have to accept that there's going to be backlash on the end of that. When you give it up, because you're filling your entire purpose with something. And that's what, I mean, you look at this, what does it mean? You're filling your meaning of life with one thing. You can't really do that. That's why you need, man, balance is an art to learn, and there's these different times where you're going to have to go all in with something, and there's different times you're going to have to get all out of it. But you have to find your own balance of life. And that's what that means. This is what this all means to us, you know, like, lifting for us is more of a balance for us because this is just one aspect of our life that makes us better people. And that's what we're trying to make it. It's just an aspect of our life that improves ourselves. And then we have all these other things, you know, we're trying to work on. I'm trying to become, maybe I'm trying to, I don't know, teach or like whatever. But I'm trying to use that education I have too to benefit my life, you know, so.
100%, man.
There's so many aspects of life like that where man, it's tough. It's really tough to explain this all because, you know, we're still working on that balance phase, honestly. It's just having just graduated college and all these things. But, you know, it's just important to understand that message, man, that you get out there, you try it, but just don't put all your chips in one jar if you're not sure yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, because I think Chris Bumstead, just not to go back to him, but he's a great example. I think he said he hopped on at like 17. But I'm sure he made up that mindset, or he made that choice in his mind, like, okay, I'm going to take the chance. But I feel like he had that kind of responsible, strong enough mindset to where, like, if he sucked at bodybuilding, he probably would have hopped off. But obviously he had freak genetics as a natural, and everyone was like, dude, I'm sure they were telling him, like, you would win Mr. Olympia if you hopped on. And I'm sure that probably played a role. But I feel like he probably would have hopped off if he sucked, and, you know, he would have ended it early. But fortunate enough, he was like the GOAT, and he had amazing genetics, and so he did it. He did his cycles, and he won, 5-6 Mr. Olympias, and then he hopped off, and now he's a dad, and now he's chilling. Yeah. But he played his cards right.
You know what the funny thing to me about this, too, is I was thinking about the other day? Because I had a phase where I was doing school, but I kind of, like, deterred from lifting. And, like, I still lifted. I still maintained it somehow with, like, and my lifts were definitely not as high caliber. I thought about that today, but...
I remember that you do like 40-minute lift, like 30 minutes. Like you were like, fuck it, whatever. I gotta study.
You know, I was keeping that up, and that definitely helped maintain my muscle maturity. But that being said, I think a lot of the reason I got deterred from lifting was because when we started lifting, at least when I started lifting, I felt that it was something that felt like it was different. Like I felt like I had passion in something that a lot of people didn't see. But now everybody lifts, and it's this trendy thing to do exactly what everyone else does, and like, you know, lift, and then, you know, maybe get on roids after a couple years, and like, it's so trendy, man. I've never liked those trendy things in life. Like, I always wanted to just try, like, something that nobody's done before, you know? That's where I've always found interest in life, like, these weird, niche-y things.
That's why I like jujitsu, man.
Yeah, that's why I love jujitsu, because I felt like I had found something that was so much value in it, but it hadn't been discovered.
I'm sure that's why I fell in love with running, too.
I felt like I had an undiscovered value. Mm-hmm. Like, when you start jujitsu and you're like, man, this thing is really awesome, and it's something that not that many people do, and it's not trendy. You know, like, it's not that many people know about jiu-jitsu on, like, a large scale, you know?
It's so niche, yeah.
It's so niche. But lifting became so neat. It became so, like, modern, where I feel like a lot of people just identify themselves solely with it. And that's why
it always annoys me, man. Yeah, those guys that are, like, all they do is, like, I'm not trying to be a dick and, like, have an ego, but it's like, dude, you just, like, all you do is lift. Like, maybe try, like, a new hobby, you know? It won't hurt you, but they're like, no, I have to lift. I have to do upper, lower, rest, upper, lower, because I'm going to progress. I'm like, all right, I mean, yeah, you'll be good at it, but I'm like, you could find a lot of love, doing this other passion,
There could be other things in life.
this other
for you.
hobby.
And I think that like
It doesn't even need to be physical.
it's funny because once people started getting obsessed with lifting, we kind of matured from that to be like, once it became super trendy, I kind of matured from that to be like, well, there's other things in life I like learning, like
Yeah, man.
jiu-jitsu, like running, like meditating, like there's so many other avenues of life to go see and try out.
Dude, yeah. Even that school arc helped me so much when I had to lock in for like this Calculus 1 in-person class because I was literally not going to graduate community college. I had to pass this class because I had failed it before. So I had to go in person, I had to study, had to become like a smart math guy, which was just Calculus 1. But like for me, that was a big deal. But it's like, it helped me a lot because I found passion in studying and learning calculus. And like it made the relationship with lifting, I was less focused on lifting, but it made it healthier because I just found passion for something else. And dude, finding passion for other things in life besides that one thing you've always had it for is beautiful, and it's so good for you, man.
That's what you need in life, man. I feel like it's so easy to just get single-minded. I don't know what that is about our nature where we just like, you just want to get obsessed with one thing sometimes, and I feel like a good phase of maturing is when you learn that like these things are avenues for making your life better, and you shouldn't stop them because a lot of people stop them and just choose a new one and get obsessed with a new thing, and you just keep giving up on your old things. But don't give up on those old things that make your life better. Keep those things in your life. Those things are important for developing your character and just.
And maybe you go all in because you literally believe in your heart of hearts, I'm gonna be Mr. Olympia, or I'm gonna be UFC champion, I'm gonna be ultra runner David Goggins guy, and so you go all in, you take that chance. But a lot of us, the sad reality is we're not going to be David Goggins, we're not going to be Chris Bumstead, we're not going to be Conor McGregor. We're going to be ordinary, average guys that pursue these sports and passions. But to other people, we're going to be extraordinary, and you can be extraordinary to yourself still. But you're not going to be the top of the top, but you'll still be good, man, in your eyes. If you can see yourself as still good in your own eyes and your heart of hearts, you'll be good, man. You'll be healthy. Mentally,
and you'll be on top compared to what everyone else is doing.
Yeah,
so it's so easy to just see peaks, man. You all you see online is
it's
people that are at
trendy.
the top.
Yeah, at
you
the
just see
top,
people
the
that are
winners.
at the top of the winners.
Yeah.
You see like that's why like it's the problem with you look at like the Trent brothers, like
Trent twins.
Trent twins. They like. Dude, their whole entire life is lifting, and their fan base becomes their entire life is lifting because it looks so appealing.
Yeah.
It looks so appealing, but you can't function like that, man. Like that's not. Their life is constantly at risk just for their lifestyle.
And I don't even know if you watch their videos, but like I'll watch their videos from time to time, and like I'll even see in their videos they'll literally admit it. They're like I remember I saw one of the brothers say like I'm literally like in the video he said I'm literally fucking depressed right now. I hate my life. And the other brother's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, all we do is fucking lift, Mike. And he's like slamming shit. He's like, fucking hate my life. I hate this shit. And he's like, they're getting upset, and I'm like, yeah, dude, because you're literally all one dimensional. And like now I notice like one of them has like the one who's always single has like a girlfriend now, and he looks happy honestly because like he has a girlfriend. I'm sure he's finding a little bit of new passion for life. And then the other one got broken up with, like he was dating Carly, and now he's like trying to find new passions because it seems like fucking like he's trying to find something new because obviously his girlfriend left him, so he's trying to find that new goal. But I'm hoping he's like doesn't just go blast a fuck ton of trend and just think, okay, I need to get bigger now because my girlfriend left me. It's like, I don't know. Hopefully they find something, man.
Hopefully it's just, you can see it in everyone that everyone's almost trying to find their own balance of life no matter where they are, bro. And just searching for balance and not thinking that like, because it's weird. You'll try to overcompensate that empty space with more of what you're already doing.
Yeah.
Instead of like, for some reason people don't think maybe I should do something new. You just think like, oh, I'll just do this more. And like I did that with running for a while. I was like, well, I'll just run more every day. I'll just start running every day. And then my knees got messed up. Like you can't just compensate with more of what you're doing. You need to look for something new to fill your space.
Yeah, man.
And relationships are important. Spending time with your family is important.
Religion, man.
Mindfulness time, religion, whatever it be, like it's so important to find the balance in all these things, man. And like it's funny that lifting started as a single-minded thing for both of us.
Yeah.
And like we both started to find more balance, and that's kind of where we are now, trying to find more of a balance of life. And that's
I think it was definitely probably we kind of had that unhealthy, that single mindset, about it, because I think we started in situations where we probably didn't like the way we looked, and we wanted to compensate, feel good about ourselves. So that's why we started lifting. We got so addicted to it because, like, at least in my position, I was like, I was the fat kid, I was the skinny fat kid. I hated the way I looked, so I was like, I need to pursue lifting, and I need to build this physique, or else I'm never going to be happy with myself. But in reality, I don't have the physique that I want. I want to look better always, but it's like I'm happy with myself now because at least I built this foundation of my body, and that I feel like I look good in, and I'm happy with myself because I'm confident now, and like I'm happy. I love life because of like this journey that whatever 6 years that I've been on.
Yeah, man.
You know.
It's really cool to see how that all works, how it plays out, man. It's actually so interesting because we're
Yeah.
22, dude. We're young, but we're like, I feel like we're both pretty mature for where we are in our phases of life because we've just tried so many things, dude. And that's the biggest thing I can always preach to anyone, man. It's better to try something than to just not do anything with your life and do nothing. Like, you can do, just go out and try things, you know? Like, just go out and take risks and live life. And live.
Yeah.
That's what it's really about, living. And my dad always preached that to me. Like, you got to go out and live life. And, like,
Yeah.
just don't follow everything that's trendy. Don't follow everything that everyone else is doing because it's like, it's what you should be doing is what you feel like when everyone else is doing it. But you need to go on your own avenues of life, man. Maybe like go on your own track sometimes. You know, get away from the crowd of it all.
Yeah, man.
You gotta go on your own journeys to grow, man. That's where you find out your own individual perspective on life, and you mature as an individual and not as a mass-produced figure of your friend group or a figure of your fucking school or wherever you went. You know, it's so easy to just become another one of those.
Yeah, in your social circle.
Social circle, yeah, whatever it is, you know, like, you gotta just search yourself, man. Search yourself and search your environment. Just don't stop trying new things.
Yeah, man. I mean, I even feel like that's why I still have this pull because I want to, go explore new countries. I've never been out the country,
me too, that's how I
and that's
feel.
why like I will definitely I have this pull and I will definitely never not have it until I go explore these countries, and that's why one day I'm gonna, go see these places and go explore. I'm sure it's gonna build so much character and happiness for me, and it's a goal down the line that I'm looking forward to. It's not just a physical thing. It's something else that I'm
You
looking
need
forward
goals,
to.
man.
Yeah.
You need goals so badly. People need to find goals outside of their work and outside of their life too. That's what it's all about. Finding
Yeah.
like, for me, I have small goals, family goals, life goals, gym goals. Like, there's so many goals in every avenue of life where I feel like, man, there's something I could be working on right now. And that's why I'm constantly in that phase too. But then there's got to be some small things you enjoy too. Like for me, it's anime, bro. And anime has always been something I've watched. Like I could low-key like, I see people on YouTube who start channels based off of just anime reviews and things.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I low-key could have always been one of those people who did that.
I
because
definitely can see
I've
that.
watched so many where I just like, I could talk to people about that forever, and like, it's also made me realize like I have niche things where I can just talk to my friends about them because a lot of people don't have their own small focuses where they can like. That is so good for your mental health, man. To have small things where I can call you up and just be like, yeah, man, we're talking about like jujitsu. Oh, yeah, man, you did this at training today.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, I went through that too, dude. And we both went through that. And now you're talking with a friend and you're socializing. And you're not just stuck in this environment of doom scrolling and swiping and looking at what this guy's doing and what that guy's doing. You're doing something for yourself and you're relating on a real life time frame to another individual who's been through the same journey as you.
Yeah.
That's what friendships are about, and that's what talking with others is about.
Dude, yeah, you know what I just thought of too that we both did that was kind of something else to get away from the lifting? Getting tattoos.
Yeah.
We both got a lot of tattoos. We got into that because I'm sure we probably wanted to do something else besides having a non-tatted plain body and lifting. We're like, okay, let's add some tattoos now.
Yeah, no,
know?
it was like it was a thing to spice it up, and that's why we just started getting tattoos all over our body and neck and like just I have them everywhere, man. But that was like I was trying to fill a gap, and that's what it really was at the time. It was just me trying to fill a gap in my life, and what am I gonna do? Oh well, I mean I have money from work. I'll just get tattoos.
Yeah.
Just get tattoos. It looks cool, and maybe I didn't even know if I thought there was a return on any of it. I didn't think I was really gonna get anything out of it, like be a tattoo model, but I thought like. It's something to do. It's better than doing nothing. That's what really it was for me. It was just better than doing nothing. So.
I mean, things definitely get murky though when you start. Okay, let's try the drinking thing.
Yeah.
And then you fill it with that stuff, and that's when.
You're having
But you
fun
learn
doing
from
that.
that,
You learn from that, but you just have to do things that are going to develop your character, man. And I think like even those times drinking developed our character.
Yeah.
It sounds funny, but like we got in different social environments because of it. We interacted with different people. Maybe we did some negatives. Sure, you're going to do some negatives when you try them out, but. As long as you keep growing through these experiences and you can look at the positives of it all, man, you're going to keep growing as an individual.
100%, man.
What time are we running?
We're at hour 13. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty single-minded on what we're talking about, so I don't know where else we go from here, but yeah, unless you have any questions.
Globalists? Anything to say about that?
No, I probably have nothing to say about that, but I guess, I don't know, let's leave them with a closing message, like, go out there, pursue different things, love life, learn to have gratitude. If you can have gratitude for everything, man, if you can wake up with gratitude, that is a never-ending source of motivation, I'd say. And for me, recently, I've realized it's a lot more, like, just waking up and being, like, I'm grateful to be able to do anything today, because a lot of people can't. Like, my little brother's disabled. He can't do anything. Like, I can get up and go to the gym, man. That's easy. Then you start the day, you got up and go to the gym. When, I'm really grateful I got to get a lift in this morning. Now, I can go on a run, man. That's awesome. I get to go on a run.
Yeah.
I get to read. I have eyeballs. I get to read. I get to look at this text and enjoy it. Like,
yeah, you feel like a little kid,
dude,
man.
every single thing you do in the day can excite you if you just look at it with gratitude.
Yeah, man.
And everything you do, you're like, man, I get to do another thing. What a great day it is, you know? So
Yeah.
look positive on life, guys, and just be grateful for everything you get to do because this life is short and you never know when it's going to end. So as long as you can be grateful for every action, if you can just look at the world with gratitude, man, you'll find so much inner strength. You'll find so much potential for the future. And you'll just keep chasing new things. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, man. I would say just being able to ride those highs and lows, man, and to ride those tides. You know, be okay with getting worse or being at a low point because the high point will come again if you can stick with it. You know, and also just trying new things, man. Go out. I mean, from listening to us talk, I just realized how much we tried different things and how much enjoyment and love we found through doing new things. And don't be so one dimensional. It's okay to try a new thing and suck it at first. And then, stick with it. And maybe in a year you won't be with it. Maybe you will still be with it. Maybe you'll be loving it, But get out there, man, and take a chance and try new things and, ride the tides of life, dude.
Man, I'm going to try something new soon. This chat kind of inspired me to do it. But, there's a couple things I always wanted to do. One of them, well, I'm going to probably start swimming more, actually, individually.
Yeah, I want to get back on that, too.
That'll be a good single thing for me to do for the time being, too. Like,
Yeah, picking that up during the school year, I like that. It helped me.
On like a Wednesday, Thursday night.
Once a week, man.
And then, I always wanted to try judo. So once my back's healthy, I'll probably pull up to a judo.
Be careful with that.
No, not right now. But there's a couple things out there where I think about them and I'm like, man, this is
even instruments, man.
Pull up to a yoga class,
Yeah.
Just do something, man. Something fun out there. An instrument would be fun too. What else is there out there that I've always wanted to try?
Get in a movie. Be an actor.
Be an actor.
Dude, who cares, man?
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, great episode. What was it, episode 9?
Yeah, episode 9.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoy. Peace.
Hope you enjoy the episode. Go try something new and have some fun. Enjoy this life.